Hello and welcome back to the Explorers Challenge, the series where I learn new skills, have new experiences, and document the journey. Let's get started. So today I wanted to learn how to tie some knots with rope. This is a paracord that I got. And the thing about rope paracord is that everybody has it in their survival bag. How many people actually know how to use this thing? So I'll be honest, I don't. Never really learned how to tie knots. There was this one trick with a shoelace where you could just go through each other and it'll somehow end up tied, and I really wanted to learn how to do that, but I never did. But anyway, that's beside the point. Today I wanted to learn how to tie a knot because that's what you need to know in order to tie rope, and that can be very useful in many situations. So without further ado, let's get started. So first things first, you have to have some rope or paracord, and you should probably cut it so that it hangs loose. Otherwise, if it's still attached to this thing, it's going to be kind of a pain. Okay, so this is how you do a square knot. 2 ends of rope right here. You X them like that. You twist one around, and then you make like a circle, kind of like that. And then you just put one of them through the hole, and then you tighten. And then you tighten that way. There's one of your knots right there. I'm wondering what would happen if you tie it the other way. So I'm gonna go back here where they're interlaced, right? And then I'm gonna do this, but instead I'm going to do this side. It kind of ends up being the same. So I guess it doesn't really matter what side you put inside the hole. So that one was known as a square knot. So let's move on to something else. So the next type of loop we're gonna do is a bowline loop. So it's one of these things. Okay, so it's a little bit confusing at first. So what you do is make a circle, put one side of the rope through the circle, and then you're gonna want to tie it around the other side of the rope. So this one that's not part of it, you tie it around, and then you go back into the hole. And just like that. Nope, that's not it. Okay. Probably went the wrong direction. Inside, around the other rope, and then back inside. Maybe under itself. And then you pull. Okay, I'm not doing this right. I feel like I'm there. Maybe I just need to make the loop bigger. Okay, so sometimes it helps when you put it on the table. Okay, so I got it again. Alright, maybe make the circle a little bit bigger. One end goes through. Then it goes around the other leg. Then it goes back through. Then you pull, tighten, and voila, you got your little thing. So I don't know, maybe, are you supposed to pull both of the ends of the string in order to get this to be tight? Because if you are, then I did it right. If you're not, then I got something else here. But that wasn't too bad. Yeah, this one's could be useful for a lot of things. So next we're gonna do the figure 8 loop. So just make a loop with your rope like this. Then you tie it around your finger once like that. Then you go in underneath all the other ropes. So, oops, it's a bit, yeah, use a bit less. So like that, and then you're supposed to do one more thing, but I can't get it. So this is a halfway mark right here. And I feel like there's one more step that I need to do, but I'll try to figure it out. Yeah, I can't seem to figure out like a different way to do it. It's not working, but I can get halfway there, so maybe that's good enough. So yeah, to review, just make a loop, wrap it on your finger, go underneath the loop of your finger, pull it forward, and there you go. Although it's a lot smaller than what I started with, it works. Now we're gonna try a knot called the Zeppelin bend. This is meant for 2 different ropes to connect them, but if you only have one, just use the 2 ends. So you make a shape with these. So you make stupid fly. You go a loop here, you go a loop here, and you can see they're in the opposite direction. You just lay them over each other, and then for each one, you go around and then pull the string through. So do the bottom one first, and then this one, I'll go around and pull it through, and then you pull the ends, tighten. Oops. Sorry if it's like not looking good to you, because it's difficult. Yeah. So there you go. You have these, like, just imagine that this part is not here. It's just supposed to be these 2 right here, or this line up here. So that's a Zeppelin bend. Ties 2 ropes together. Of course, these have to be the same thickness. If you have different thickness, then you're gonna need a different knot. But that's not my problem right now. Those were some knots that you could learn how to tie, and in my opinion, it's probably better to learn only a few knots for specific situations, because you could try to learn 10,000 different knots and you're just gonna forget 90% of them, 99% of them. So just learn like a loop knot or 2 different rope knots, and you just learn 1 knot and then get really good at it. So learn a bowline knot and then do a Zeppelin bend, and then 1 for each situation. So if you have 2 rope, then learn a 2 rope knot. If you need a loop, learn a loop knot. If you need to tie around like a stick or something, then learn a knot that ties around a stick. Tying knots is something that a lot of people have forgotten how to do because we just never need to do it. But for one last knot in this video, I want to learn how to do that shoe thing that I was talking about. So I'm gonna grab a shoe and then show you how to do it. All the videos that show how to do this are pretty much trash, because it's a 1 second tie your shoe thing, but they just actually do it in 1 second, and they don't take the time to really show you how to do it. And it's difficult. It's difficult to initially wrap your head around, so I'm gonna show you how to do it, if I can figure it out myself. So first you gotta do is you just gotta make your initial, like that, make your initial tie around or whatever it's called. And then this is where it gets tricky. You pull apart with your 3 fingers, and you have to make like a fork. So you go around, and then you see that you make a fork with your finger and your index finger and your thumb. And then for your other hand, you have to do it the opposite direction. So if I go under from the front, this way I have to go under from the back. And then what we do is we put our fingers together, we grab the other one's string, and then we just pull. I kind of almost got it there. This just forms a circle. I don't get what they're doing. Here, let me check again. Okay, so I just found this other way that seems a lot easier to do. So you just make 2 loops, pull the loops through each other, and then I think you just pull like one of the sides through the other loop again. So like that. Nope. Okay. Through. Okay, that's kind of it. Nope, I don't have it. I'll be right back. I'm gonna crash out. This is so stupid. The way they explain it in a video, it just doesn't work. I'm going under, I'm going over, I'm pulling, and it's just not staying tied together. So I'll have to figure out a different way. Okay, I figured it out. all of these videos are a bunch of liars, okay? To do it, this is what you have to do. Okay, great, I have to untie this now because I actually just figured it out, okay? So, all of these liars, man, I can't believe it. So what you do is you tie your shoe, you just make a normal loop like you would in a normal shoe. Then you put one hand, let's say your left hand, and it goes under, but it goes under twice. You don't do this, all right? You do this. That's what you do. And nobody shows this for some reason. And then for this other hand, you go over twice. You don't do once, you do twice. So like that. And then what you do is then you pull the first string on each side. You pull it, and you pull it, and then, okay, whoops, that didn't work out. Okay, so you pull the lace that's like this one, it's on the bottom, and then you pull the top, and then, well, bam. You have yourself a, come on, stupid, tied shoe lace. Nope. Yes, nope, nope. Okay, maybe I pulled the wrong one, but one of them was right. One of them was right because it made a loop. So here is how you do this once and for all. 3 fingers, this side goes under, this side goes, wait no. This side goes under, this side goes over. And you do this with your fingers. The right side pulls first, and then the left side pulls this one. Gosh darn it. I literally figured it out. It's like I can't, I'm like I'm cursed. I can't do it without... Okay, let's try this again. There's like a scientific word for this, whatever this is. Dang it, that was so close. Okay, I need to learn again. I'll be back. Okay, I'm just gonna do this slow and methodical because that's what the video that actually taught me this is doing. So, do your loop. This one goes behind, this one goes over, and then under, and then you tighten. You go like this, make 2 forks with your fingers. This one goes over, no, this one goes under. Wait, let me see. Yes, under, okay. This one goes over. And you should have a V shape here. So what you would then do, you kind of twist as you go. Okay, so twist your fingers, make the lines touch. Your right hand grabs this. Now what your left hand grabs is what's behind your finger. So your right hand grabs this, your left hand grabs this. Then you slowly but surely pull and tighten, and finally I got it on camera. That took forever. That's so annoying. But I finally learned how to do the 1 second shoelace trick. Now, I don't think I'm actually gonna be able to do this in 1 second because this was really annoying to learn. It's because it just boggles the mind. Okay, so yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do this in 1 second, but I can try. Okay, see, this is my natural thing. This is what I do normally. That's what's so weird about it. I don't go under like this, but I'm gonna show you what happens if you do it like this. So I'm gonna do it like this. All right, go like this. Under, over. Okay, that's no, under, over. So you want the V to be, you want it to be like an N, I guess. Okay, so twist, grab behind, pull. The loop is so wide, and that's really annoying. But then you just pull, and voila. Now, I guess there's a way to make it smaller. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter whether or not the initial loop was facing the other way. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, it doesn't, Okay, well, I actually do it the same way. It just looks opposite. Because you can tell because this one is going downwards, and when you do like this one is also going downwards. So I want to try what would happen if this one, wait, no. Okay, this one is going upwards. Yes, like this. This is the opposite because this one's going up, this one's going down. So I'm going to try it now. N. All right, yes, we're making it N. Whoops. Like that. Like, nope, that's W. Like that. Okay, N. Make the N, because this really helps you. All right, okay, so that one, this one, pull. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way you start the initial first shoe loop with. That feels so good finally learning it. And that is how you tie a knot, friends. Alright, so learning how to tie knots with rope, that was fun. Learning how to tie that shoe was so insanely frustrating because the people who showed the tutorials, they don't explain anything. There was one guy who I found who actually explained and did it slow motion to the point where you could understand it, but they do it as this impressive thing, they just whoosh, and it's like, okay, what happened? You can't learn what happened because they don't explain it to you. They just assume that you would get it, and that's the frustrating thing about learning, is that a lot of times people just assume that you get certain things when, as a matter of fact, you need a bit more explanation and you need people to understand that you don't understand. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that I learned that, because now my brain can wrap itself around that concept of that shoe. And I guess the moral of the story today is be patient, stick with it, keep trying, and eventually you will get it, because for a while there I was not getting it. But that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of the Explorers Challenge.